Hey, Walter Sorrells back with another Knife Makers Friday 5. Today, basically just catching you up on stuff going on around the shop. All right, so like I said, mostly just going to be catching you up on what's going on with me at this point. First, for those of you who are going to the Blade Show 2024 in Atlanta, in case you're watching this many moons down the way, I will be there. As usual, I didn't get off my duff and reserve a booth. I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, but if you'd like to stop by and say hi, I'll be at the Pops booth, which is booth 1044, I believe. I will have a few knives with me, so if you'd like to pick something up from me, some of my Tactics Armory blades, I will have a few of them there. I'll be there Friday during the afternoon, Saturday in the morning, and then I'm out of there. If I'm not at the Pops booth, say hi to the guys at Pops, Joey, Alan, Dirk, Dusty. I don't know who else is going to be there, but tell them I sent you. Anyway, like I said, I should have a few blades there, and they may be selling them. I'm not really sure when I'm not there. So even if I'm not there and you're looking for a knife from me, just go ahead and ask them. By the way, if you've never been to Blade before and you live in the area, there's still time to, get moving and go down and see the Blade Show. It is the biggest knife show in the world. All kinds of stuff there. Every kind of knife you can imagine, swords, forged blades, production blades, folders, most of the well-known knife makers that you've run into on YouTube or seen in magazines or whatever will be there. So it's just super fun, and if you get the chance to do it, definitely come and visit, and obviously stop in and say hi if you get a chance. So a really cool development, and we're sort of kicking this off at Blade Show. My son Jake is going to be joining me at the show, but also he's going to be joining me here in Tactics Armory. He's been living in Mississippi for the last, 6 years, something like that. But he'll be moving back to the Atlanta area, and when he does, he'll be joining me here at Tactics Armory to help out with sales and marketing. Jake grew up around my shop, obviously, so he's been around the knife world since he was about yay high. In fact, about yay high. So anyway, super happy to have him joining me in this enterprise. I think that's really going to be just a very cool thing. He has an extremely different personality and skill set from me, and I think it's going to be very complimentary, and I'm really looking forward to working with him. Jake's got a little bit more of a selling type personality than I do, and anybody who knows me knows how much I hate selling. So really looking forward to having him join me and help out. Speaking of selling, I just wanted to give a little review of my most recent knife developments. If you've been following me for the last few months, you've seen that I've introduced 4 brand new knives to the Tactics Armory lineup. I'm looking to add a bunch more as the year goes on. I was hoping to do one every single month, and that just turned out to be a hurdle that was a little too high for me to jump over. But anyway, let me just mention for you guys the knives that I do have coming out. The first one is the Eclipse that I'm going to talk about, which is just coming online right now. I just shipped my first set of pre-orders for the Eclipse yesterday. I've still got a whole bunch of them. You can see right here. This is an unfinished one. The blade's done, but it hasn't been assembled yet. So here is the actual finished knife. This is probably prototype number 1, so it's pretty skanky looking at this point. Let me just show you the whole rig. It's the idea is that this is a pocket fixed blade. So a buddy of mine, Jared Baker, recently said to me, it was probably actually last year sometime, he's started making knives, and I was, showing him some things, and he came over with a blade like this that is intended for use in the pocket, but still a fixed blade. And it's taken me a lot of time to figure out how I wanted to do the sheath. But I'm really actually quite happy with this sheath. The basic idea is, it's standard click in, click out type Kydex sheath, but it's got a single clip. I haven't got any of my other, actually, let me see if I do. So this one's actually not assembled, but my traditional way of making Kydex sheaths is that I have a clip that goes on one side, and so you have to make a left hand and a right hand version of them. This is an ambidextrous one with the clip going on either side. For the kind of carry that I've been doing with most of my knives, like my shadows and that sort of thing, this single clip was not ideal. Normally, I've been carrying in my small of my back right here, and this is liable to fall over sideways. But having this single clip that you can reverse on either side, it just works great for the pocket. I was a little skeptical about it because I'd honestly never, this is the first one that I've ever done that is made specifically for pocket carry, and I was just a little skeptical that it was going to flop over or do something, that I wasn't looking for it to do, and thus far, I'm really happy with it. It goes in and out real easily. You can just put it right back in there, and, I just find it super easy to use, and it gives you access to a really robust blade that's, you're never going to have the lock go out on you. You're never going to have the pivot break. No cruds getting into the pivot. I mean, everything about a fixed blade is better as a blade. It's just they're harder to carry. And to me, this is, pretty darn good solution. So a couple other things. This is the Luna. I'm basically, what I used to do was make all my knives on order. And now what I'm trying to do is build up a little bit of inventory so that you can order them and I'll ship them out the next day. And so I've got a bunch of Lunas now in stock. I've also, this is a neck knife, standard little neck knife, hangs right here. It weighs about an ounce, super unobtrusive, easy to carry. If you've never tried a neck knife before, this is a reasonably priced knife that is always going to be there, and I like it. In addition to that, the Shadow 2, I've got a new batch of those that I've just finished, so I've got plenty of those in stock. The Shadow 2 is actually the updated version of the oldest Tactics Armory design that I ever did, whenever it was that I got started with Tactics Armory, close to 10 years ago now, 6-7 years ago anyway. I made the Shadow, and it was a very, very functional design, but kind of, you might say, under-designed from an aesthetic standpoint. So I just wanted to freshen up that design, make a design that was more interesting and maybe ergonomically a little bit better too. So that's the Shadow 2. I'll be doing a red handle for that that'll be coming out very shortly from Rich Light. So that's kind of cool. What I'm trying to do with all these blades is, unlike the old ones where once you installed the handle, it was on there for good, these are all screw-on, bolt-on, whatever you want to call them, handles. And if you don't like the color or you don't like the feel of it, I'm going to be periodically putting out different handles in different colors, different materials, different textures. And so if you want to try out a new handle, they're pretty cheap and you can just replace it. And if nothing else, if you just want to fool around with your knife and, try different stuff on it, it's fun to mess around with them. And finally, the Nightfall, which is the first of the new series of knives that I've designed recently. Still got a few of those in stock. Next month, I'm going to be doing a new knife, a new design. So keep an eye out for that one. It'll be Tonto. So that'll be fun. That's a little bit different from the knives that that I've got in stock right now. So I alluded earlier to the fact that I've I think I've gone to every single blade show for the last 25 years, and I have literally never once had a booth. And so just for y'all's curiosity as to why that has been the case, I started out making Japanese swords. I still make them, you know, in small numbers, but I did literally every single Japanese sword that I've ever done, or just about, I did on custom order. And so, you know, I literally never had any stock, and so if I was gonna go rent a booth at Blade Show, I'd just be sitting there with nothing to show, and it would have been sort of silly. So it'd be $500 to spend to sit there with no knives. So never did it. As I've been transitioning more out of the Japanese sword world and into the Tactics Armory thing, I still was doing a pre-order type thing like I was talking about earlier. So you would order it, and then 3 weeks later or whatever, I'd ship you your knife. The bottom line there still was I had no inventory. So this year, I'm finally starting to accumulate a little inventory. It probably makes sense for me to have a booth at Blade Show this year for the first time. Next year, I absolutely promise you I will be there with the booth, and I'll have plenty of knives, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But this year, not so much. Anyway, stop by and see me at Blade. If you've never been there, make plans to go. If not this year, maybe next year. If you get the chance this year, it's a lot of fun. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And next video, we'll have some with a little more how-to type content. All right, guys, take care and keep on making those knives. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what we're doing here, please subscribe and make sure that you click on that bell so you get notified of all the latest videos. Want to buy a knife from me? Check out my modern blades at tacticsarmory.com. Digging the channel? You can support our video making efforts on Patreon. You know, I've been banging away on these videos for like 10 years, so I hope you'll show some love for all that hard work. Link in the cards and descriptions. Finally, if you're interested in making Japanese swords, check out my full line of Japanese sword videos where I show how to forge Japanese swords as well as how to polish them and how to make fittings, handles, and scabbards. WalterSorrellsBlades.com.